YouTube star, Blaire White. Blaire, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You were born a boy, right?
Yeah.
You were born a boy. And when you were a boy, did you feel like a boy?
I guess not. No, I guess I always felt different from the time I was this high.
And what did you feel like?
I just felt like I was different from all the other, kids in school. I felt just a different essence within myself. I felt more feminine.
You felt like a girl.
Yeah.
As a little boy, you felt like a girl.
Yeah.
How does little boys know what girls feel like?
I don't know. That's a weird question. I guess it's more of like feeling femininity and masculinity, not like a girl, but feeling feminine or masculine. And I was never into boy activities, never related to boys.
And so, did you feel uncomfortable being a boy but feeling like a girl? Did you think something was wrong, or did you see that as being normal?
I guess I didn't really have the words to describe it even to myself internally. It wasn't until I got older that I found the language to describe how I actually felt. But it did feel strange, and for a long time, it took a long time to really figure out what exactly it was.
And were you able to talk to your parents about it while growing up? Did you say, oh, Dad, oh, Mom, I feel like a girl even though I'm a boy?
No. I mean, I could have been able to if I had the words, like I said, but I didn't really.
As you got older and started school and the kids call you names, did they say you were acting like a sissy or anything like that?
Yeah, middle school was a lot of bullying for sure.
Yeah, and what was that like for you?
It was hard, but I appreciate that I went through it because it made me a lot stronger as a person.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
And so, were you raised by your father and mother?
Yeah.
And when you would go home and tell them how you were treated, what would they say?
My dad was a lot more, they were very different in their reactions. My father was a lot more of a hard line, like just stick it out, like you're fine, like toughen up, etc. My mom was more of a softie. She was more of a, maybe she should go to like homeschool, something like that.
Right.
So it was a little bit of a push and pull between them, but ultimately I stuck up through middle school.
That's amazing. And so at what point did you decide, well, I'm going to switch my body parts from man to woman?
Probably age 19 or 20.
I've asked other people this too. What does a woman feel like?
You mean like what's it feel like to be one?
Yes. Because being a man, there are no feelings. You don't feel like a man. And I hear a lot of men who have been traumatized say that they feel like a woman. What does a woman feel like?
I would never be able to know what being a biological woman feels like, but I know what it's like to be myself and to be a trans woman. I know what it's like to be Blaire White, so that's kind of what I go on.
Right.
I'm just a naturally feminine person. I've always been since I was, like I said, this high, and so that's the way my life panned out because that's just what I was.
Do you think that God made a mistake by giving you boy parts, knowing that you were a girl? Like, you know how you're up in heaven and they put this body together?
Yeah, I
Because
remember.
the father and mother's about to make a baby, right? So they put this body together. Do you think going through the factory they made a mistake?
Well,
or something else went wrong?
Well, I don't particularly believe in God, so it's not necessarily something I could answer. If I were to, accept that God exists, I would say probably not a mistake. I mean,
So you don't believe in God?
no, I don't think about it too much. I'm not like an atheist. I'm not like anti-religion, anti-God,
Right.
anti-theism at all. But I don't think about it.
And so where do you get your morality? Where do you get your values from, if not from God?
I guess just from a basic comprehension of what hurts people, what helps people, what's good and what's bad for people. I think just moving throughout the world, you kind of develop that. I don't necessarily need the Bible. Obviously, we live in a based Christian society.
It's interesting, even though you have changed the body parts, you were born a boy, meaning that you're not able to get pregnant, have a child, does that concern you? Maybe you are a boy, but something else went wrong, and instead of changing the body parts, find out what went wrong so you can get back on track?
You mean like seek a different type of help other than transition?
Right. Because if you were born a woman, you would have those parts where you would be able to at least get pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the thing is, there is no alternative route for people who have gender dysphoria. It's either live with it. I mean, there's no type of therapy that's proven to be successful. There just isn't. The only chance of people, curing or alleviating gender dysphoria is through transition, which does entail hormone therapy, surgery, and living as the gender that you want to be. If there was another form of therapy, I think that'd be a positive thing for the world, because I don't think transition is right for everyone, but it was right for me.
But my point is, God, and I know you don't believe in God,
Right.
but he created us all. He created us male and female, right? And so he doesn't make mistakes. And so he made you male, but something happened that made you think you're female.
Well, I've never thought I'm female. It's not like I look in the mirror and hallucinate and think, oh, that's a female. It's never been that. It was more of, I know to live a successful, fulfilled, and happy life, I needed to assume the life of one and live as one.
Oh,
Not necessarily. I don't think I don't have weird hallucinations. I don't think that I am something I'm not. I know I'm biologically male. I was born that way, will die that way. But luckily we live in, a society in which you can make changes to yourself, you can live the life that you want, and so I took advantage of that.
Did society make the right decision to accept this, knowing that it's not right to accept men and women who think that they're a man or a woman, blah, blah, blah? Or should society have stood with what they knew was right and help the person to overcome the problem?
Well, there was many centuries of trying that. I mean, there's been a lot of, failed attempts at therapy for trans people other than transition. None of them have ever worked. I'm not saying that someday there couldn't be, but the fact of the matter is transition is really the only route for people, unless you want to just tell people to live with this debilitating mental disorder and then end up killing themselves or something. But again, this is where the disconnect between you and I is going to happen, because you get your morality from the Bible and I get mine. I look at what hurts people. If they're good people, they are lawful people, they are nice people, they don't hurt anyone. So I don't think of it as oh, that's wrong to accept.
I've interviewed several people who gone through this process, and they realized it was a mistake after they've done it, and many committed suicide.
Yeah, you can always find those people, for
once
sure.
they did it, they realized it wasn't the right thing to do, but it's too late now. I don't know if you can reverse it back to whatever you came from.
Yeah.
But it's too late for them, so they end up committing suicide. And there are some facilities, hospitals, doctors that won't do it now because of the rise in suicide with transgender people. Mm-hmm. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think that sounds like a horror story. It would be really horrible to go through changes and realize that it's not what you wanted. I think what happens is a lot of trans people have sort of the wrong mindset when it comes to transition. A lot of them live their lives in transition, like I said, is their end-all be-all. So that is their ultimate goal, that's what they want. And then they do it and they realize, oh, I have the rest of my life to live, and I have no other aspirations, no other goals. I've spent my life savings on this, and then I think a deep depression can follow that for sure.
Right.
But again, I don't think that because you can find cases of people who want to go back that it should be banned or anything like that.
Can you go back?
It depends on what you do. I mean, it depends on what surgeries you've had, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I guess if you have genital reassignment surgery, then you kind of can't. But everything else, I'm pretty sure you can kind of switch back.
I read that you don't like the LGBT community. Is that true?
Yeah, I made a video just kind of mapping out my issues with the community as a whole. When I was talking about that, I was speaking more in terms of LGBT activists, and also I think I talked a little bit about pride events, which I've never been a fan of.
Right.
I found them. I've always found them to be kind of counterproductive. I think they had an important place back in the day, but now they've kind of turned into something different. I also talked about the political bias within the LGBT community and how it's more about politics rather than actually accepting trans people.
Are you liberal or conservative?
I would say I lean right.
And how did that happen?
I think just getting older and being an adult. It's just my honest interpretation of the world.
Yeah, I noticed on your videos you seem to be honest about what you believe in. Do you debate other transgenders who disagree with you? Have you done debate?
I'll debate anyone, but I think I've debated a trans person before. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Are you disliked by them because you are conservative or right?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you surprised by that?
No, not surprised. Because like I said, there is that really extreme political bias within that community. So not exactly shocked.
Did you vote for President Trump?
I did. It was my first time voting too, which if you would have told me when I was a teenager I'd be voting for the first time Republican and voting for Donald Trump, I would have said, I would never have believed it. Never.
So what made you vote for him? Why President Trump?
It was a lot of things. The first thing I think was a big reason for a lot of people was a severe aversion to Hillary Clinton and the Clinton family. So that was the first thing. I appreciated him straight talking about Islam, because that's a big thing for me because I am trans. I also appreciated the message of border control, national security, that kind of stuff. I appreciated that during the campaign he made a really strong effort to take it to the people, whereas I felt like the Clinton campaign was very celebrity driven, very media driven.
That's amazing. Do you like the idea of putting a big, beautiful wall around the border?
Yes, I do.
That's amazing. That is something else to me. That's cool. In the meetings, we were talking about if I were going to call you a he or a she, right? So we're going back and forth with that.
Right.
If I call you he, would you be offended by that instead of she?
Offended is a strong word, probably annoyed.
You'd be annoyed, and why?
Because it would just come across as very intentional and not because it was natural.
How about if in my mind I know that you're a boy, and so because you changed the body part, it didn't change my mind, and so just knowing
Did
that
or didn't?
Did not.
Okay.
So in knowing that, I'm still calling you a boy, but it's not meant to be mean. Would you accept it then?
Well, except in what way? Like, would we like go hang out and like we'd be at McDonald's and you'd call me he in front of everyone? Like, probably not that.
No, I mean like doing this interview.
Oh, I could stomach it. I don't care.
Would you be offended?
No, like I said, that's a strong word. I'd probably be annoyed. I would flip this table. Just kidding.
I noticed that straight, white, conservative, Christian men of power, especially, are hated by minorities, by the social justice warriors, by identity politics people. Why do they hate the straight, white, conservative Christian man so much?
I think people in general all have biases and hatred to a certain extent, and that group happens to be kind of the easiest to vocalize it. You can't just walk around talking about how you hate black people or how you hate gay people or how you know what I mean? So people kind of expel that energy where they can. And then again, it's like the aspect of like blaming people for your problems. So blame the person that you see is in power as the reason why you're not in power.
Right. They didn't denounce those people.
Yeah.
If they had they stood up and said, "No, you're lying. I'm not responsible for your poor life. It's you," would they be seen in a different light today?
Probably if they hadn't let. I mean, the culture did swing very far left for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I guess if there was more of a push and pull, it wouldn't be as bad as it is now.
Speaking of Black Lives Matter, do you agree with me that they are a radical, evil, agitative organization that's built on black lesbians and homosexuals and social justice warriors?
It's a pretty terrible group. I've made videos criticizing Black Lives Matter a ton.
Yeah.
I don't know where the lesbian thing came from. What's that?
Black lesbians, they some rough-looking girls. You ever seen them?
I have. Seen many of them out here.
What I wouldn't want to fight with them.
I wouldn't want to fight with a black lesbian either.
Have you been attacked by them because of what you said?
Oh yeah, for sure. Last summer I made a video kind of like mapping out all my criticisms of the movement. And it was definitely an inflammatory video. Like a lot of my videos are kind of harshly worded.
Yeah.
and kind of abrasive sometimes. And from that, Black Lives Matter kind of like organized around doxing me, which is releasing my information, my address, my phone number, all of that.
Really?
Yeah, and I had some crazy death threats. I had to talk to the FBI. It was like a big thing.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's amazing. See how evil they are? At least the KKK won't release your address. Bruce Jenner has become one of the most famous transgender people in the world, I guess. What's your impression of Bruce?
I think she's legally Caitlin now, right? I don't know. Feels weird saying Bruce still.
My last thing is they are now going to a point where they have this thing called no gender. Instead of boy or girl, they don't want gender identification anymore. Is that ridiculous?
I guess the libertarian in me says that the government shouldn't be like legally stamping people male or female.
You said
But-
they should not?
Yeah, I don't really see a reason why. I mean, you think of like gender markers and the legality of it, like there's no real reason for it. However, obviously there's no scientific basis behind being an actual non-male or female. Like people are just male or female.
Do you think they should be teaching this to boys and girls when they're 5 years of age? Should they be teaching that to kids at such an early age?
No, I don't see a reason why kids should learn about like the intricacies of like being trans or even being gay. I think people find that out when they're older, regardless.
Yeah. I enjoyed talking to you. Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching The Fallen State. We need your continued support. Donate to my nonprofit here. Subscribe and like the videos here. And tell everybody and their mama about the show.